Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do an update tarot reading for Soloist Dean. Someone requested for me to do a sort of update because I have done a reading. I think it was a personality and general reading for him. I believe 5 months ago or three. So they wanted me to read on him again to see how he's doing. So let's begin this reading. Let's remember his energies. He is a Scorpio Sun with the Moon in Taurus. So let's begin. The cards that he got, it's the King of Wands, the Five of Wands, the Ten of Wands, the Empress, and the Hierophant. And the extra card that I pulled from the oracles of healing yourself, it's the card of letting go. So yes, I think that Dean he had never stopped working. It seems like he had been working on something. He had been connecting with his creativity, and I see him like being very passionate, very dominant about what he wants to achieve. And probably this is the reason why, I don't know if this is the case, maybe if you are a fan of him and can let me know if I'm correct or not. But I think that probably if you are not getting content out of him or new songs or new projects, it's because he's been very selective and also very straightforward about things that he doesn't want to do. Probably he is also being a bit prideful, a bit like because when we start with the energy of a King of Wands, it's an energy that it talks about you defending what is yours, but defending it from a place of authority. Because the king energy is someone that had been through all the learning process of being an apprentice, of being on probation, quote unquote on probation, of being in this learning process. Now that you are in this king energy, it means that you had somehow mastered your own resources, your own abilities, and you had mastered yourself. So you had earned the title of being a king of your life and of your circumstances and your belongings and of your own choices of what you decide to do with your creativity or not. And I think he definitely is someone that is very hardworking. I don't think he ever stopped working. But I think what he had decided to do all this time is to actually, he had been negotiating with people. I think that he had a lot of options and a lot of opportunities to release something, but he wasn't really excited to do it, actually. I think he turned a lot of people down. I think he rejected a lot of opportunities because they didn't seem to go with what he wants to achieve. He is a Scorpio, so he's always going through these kinds of transformations where for him it's something very emotional, it's something very deep. It's even a bit of a complex process. I think that for him it's a bit painful also to go through a process of creating something. So he holds on really tight to his work, to his creations. So I see him really like struggling to make himself being understood by the people around him. And I think that he also is in this sort of, like I mentioned before, I sense of him a very prideful energy, in the sense that he can be acting a bit too confident, or probably a bit too cocky, like being like, oh, I don't want this, like, I don't want to do this, like, I don't care, like rejecting people left and right. So I don't know what's going on with him internally, and what's going on with him and Fame, because I think that he is somehow rejecting a lot of opportunities that he feels like doesn't go with his image or what he wants to accomplish. But part of being a star, or part of being a celebrity or a singer or a performer, is that you do need to show up. You do need to expose yourself. And I think that there's a part of him that probably he doesn't feel that comfortable with exposing himself anymore, or actually going to interviews or attending like shows where he feels uncomfortable. I think that he feels uncomfortable with being famous. So he would feel really comfortable staying in a studio, like recording and never leaving that place. But he needs to leave. He needs to get out of that hermit mode. And it's weird because the hermit card is not here. But I have the feeling that, and that is weird because it seems like he almost like he is sabotaging himself, because he does have the image. He does have the presence of being someone really influential because of his image, because of his looks, honestly, because he's a very he has a strong presence, he's very good looking, he's a handsome guy. But somehow he does, like, it seems like he doesn't want to be recognized by that, by his looks. But he has to also reconcile with that idea, because he has the potential. He is very talented, but he also has available that he has a good image. So I don't know why he wants to. It seems like he has a sort of syndrome of the ugly duckling, something like that, where he doesn't recognize his image. It seems like he is like in constant battle with the image of himself. Like he would wish he wasn't that attractive or something like that. It's weird. I know it sounds weird, but he seems to be fighting that. He wants to give a different image. But looks are important as well, especially because the fans know that that's not what you're all about. That you are much more than just a handsome person. But probably he feels a bit like weird about this. I don't know what past experiences he had that were so traumatic that he wants to hide from the public. I don't know. And yes, we have the 10 of Wands, that it means that he's battling, he's like putting a lot of resistance. He's like being like, oh, I don't need this, I don't need this sponsor, I don't need these people, I can do this by myself, I can do this on my own, I don't need investors, I don't need to make deals with people, I can work by myself. So he is being a bit stubborn, to be honest. I can see his moon in Taurus here being a bit contradictory about him actually saying that he wants to move forward and him rejecting, like opportunities. So I don't know what's going on in here. And then we have the Empress and we have the Hierophant. So, yes, he does have the potential of releasing something, like something really prosperous and something. He has a lot of ideas that somehow he's like holding on really tight to those, and he doesn't let anyone see them. But in the future, I see that he will have to align, he will have to sign a contract with some kind of enterprise or with some company or with some entity, because I see that I know he wants to do things on his own and by himself, but this is not how things work in this industry. So he will have to align with the company. He will have to join forces with other people because otherwise he will not get the expansion that he needs, and also because he has all this potential here, with the Empress. He has all this good material here, so I don't know if probably he hasn't found the right people to associate with, so this is why he is so hesitant. But he's too much on the defensive, and I think that he is being very stubborn, and this is why things are not probably, you are not hearing much about him. He's like in this, he's like in a cave, and he's in this period because he wants to be, but I think that at the end he will have to associate with some entity, with some network, or he will have to do network. This is about actually about connecting with others and signing contracts, and yes, maybe these people are, yes, they are here because of the money, and they will make him do promotions with probably things that he is not that comfortable with, but it's part of the show business. It's the way it is, so I don't know why he's so against this. Probably is some personal, like existential crisis. Probably he wants to be taken seriously in a more underground scene, but somehow to be successful and to be able to reach as many fans as possible, you do need exposure. So I think that he needs to come out of his shell. He needs to show himself because he has a lot of devoted people that are actually waiting for him, and he's super talented. Because here with the Empress, I definitely can see that it's not that he is like he has some kind of creativity blockage or something like that. No, the ideas are running actually, but he's just not sharing with others what he has. So, yes, in order for him to connect with creativity and to connect with abundance, he needs to connect with others. He needs to sign contracts, he needs to do business. I think that he needs to do it. I know it feels weird, but this is what the cards are telling me. And other thing that the last card of the Oracle, healing yourself, the card is letting go. So definitely something happened in the past. I don't know what is it. Probably he had been dealing with some personal issues of his own that it has to do about trust. Probably he had been betrayed in the past, or there was some very emotional situation that led him to feeling this heartbroken and this very feeling very distrustful, feeling very negative, feeling very on the defensive. So he will need to move on. I think that the card here of letting go is actually, yes, it's actually like telling him to let go of the control, because he cannot be hiding. It's like he needs to expose himself, he needs to show himself, he needs to get out more, he needs to do more, he needs to communicate more. I don't know if maybe if some of you are fans, if you can let me know if he had been reaching out to you or writing to you or doing some lives. But yes, I think that this is a very, it's a mix of things. It has to do with work, but at the same time it has to do with his private life. That I cannot see here because he doesn't let me see exactly what's going on in his personal life, because he is very protective of his intimacy. This is why I cannot see it, and I don't think that it's necessary for us to know either. But there had been some letdowns in his life, in his personal life. So this is why he needs to let go, and I think he will in the next 3 to 6 months. He needs to let go, but he will need the help of others at the same time. He will not be able to succeed on his own. He needs to get out and connect with people, probably with new people, yes, but he needs to get out. But for him, it's not easy. It's not easy. This is why, if you're a fan of him, you need to have patience, because for him, it's everything. It's complicated. For him, the emotional process, his personal processes, are a bit complex to transit. For him, changes. It's like he wants a transformation, but he just doesn't know how to get out of this routinary that he's in, because he is a person that he has mixed energies, because he is a Scorpio and he has this moon in Taurus that somehow enables him to hold on very stubbornly to things that no longer work in his life, but he always has a hard time accepting that he has to let go. It's like he wants to let go, but there's a part of him that is like, what if I stay a little bit longer in this state? What if things work out at the end? For him to move on is not easy. It's not easy because he tends to hold on very tight to people and situations that sometimes are not very beneficial for him, but for him it's not easy to move on. It's not easy to let go. Probably you tell him to let go and he's like, yes, yes, but inside of him it's not an easy process, so you have to be patient with him. But you will get news from him. Probably next year he will release something. So yes, guys, this is all I have for Soloist Dean. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I would love to hear from you if you are a fan of him. I would love to hear your point of view or your perspective or feedback about this. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.